You listen to KTST-FM, and this is the Secret City Geek Lab. I'm Alan Ng, your host. This week, we're going to talk a lot about Iron Man 3. It's already opened really big, this Iron Man. On the first opening weekend, it made $175 million, making it the biggest box office opener just behind Marvel's The Avengers at $207 million. Internationally, it has already earned at this point $504 million, making the take so far $680 million. It's currently certified fresh at Rotten Tomatoes at 79%, but there's really only one review that counts, and that review is mine. Marvel's Iron Man 3 pits brash but brilliant industrialist Tony Stark/Iron Man against an enemy whose reach knows no bounds. When Stark finds his personal world destroyed at his enemy's hands, he embarks on a harrowing quest to find those responsible. This journey at every turn will test his mettle. With his back against the wall, Stark is left to survive by his own devices, relying on his ingenuity and instincts to protect those closest to him. As he fights his way back, Stark discovers the answer to the question that has secretly haunted him. Does the man make the suit, or does the suit make the man? Iron Man 3 was written by Shane Black and directed by Shane Black. It stars Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, Gwyneth Paltrow as Virginia Pepper Potts, Don Cheadle as James Rhodey Rhodes, Guy Pearce plays Aldrich Killian, Rebecca Hall plays Dr. Maya Hansen, Jon Favreau as Happy Hogan, and Ben Kingsley as the terrorist the Mandarin. Robert Downey Jr. is the best thing about Iron Man 3. Only an actor of his caliber could literally carry this movie. He can drop his playful one-liners, pull off panic attacks, and keep us interested in the developments of his character. In addition, Ben Kingsley made the perfect Mandarin. He's able to pull off the terror aspect of a terrorist. Special attention should go to Ty Simpkin, who played the kid Harley. He had unbelievable banter with Tony Stark. He was also able to develop and create his own character, and he was the bright spot in the middle of this movie. I also like the tone that Shane Black brought to this movie. It was all about Tony, and everything on screen touched upon his weaknesses and challenged those weaknesses. The action scenes were amazing. Even the Air Force One rescue that you see all the time in the commercials was still exciting to watch. Iron Man is a trilogy. If you take Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, it gives you the complete story of Tony Stark, beginning, middle, and end. And if you end with Iron Man 3, you've got that complete package. Question is, how are they going to bring Tony back into Avengers 2? There are a few things that struck out at me as being inconsistent, such as the way you would deal with the bio-enhanced extremist soldiers. I never really got an understanding of how you defeat these guys. How exactly do you kill them? Do you crush them? Do you blow them up? They just keep coming back, and there wasn't really a clear answer as to how to stop them. The character Dr. Maya Hansen was also not well developed. She appears in the movie, moves the plot along, and then is done, and I wasn't really sure how I should feel about her and her character. Overall, I love the story. I like the reality of Tony Stark that Robert Downey Jr. brought to the story. He played him as a person, not as this alien superhero with powers. You'll have a lot of fun. The ending credits are incredible. But the ending scene, that's the thing you wait for at the end of every Marvel movie, just really didn't live up to my expectations on this one. From a scale from 1 to 10, I give Iron Man 3 a 9. This is Secret City Iron Man movie review. I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, what did Melissa Kirkpatrick think of Iron Man 3? Here's what she thought. I'm here with Melissa Kirkpatrick. What did you think of Iron Man 3?
I loved it. I thought it was the best Iron Man yet.
All right, what did you like about Iron Man?
Well, of course, Robert Downey Jr. is amazing. I thought he was even more amazing in this one. His acting was phenomenal. I love the effects. They were just like non-stop, like mind-blowing effects. Oh, man. Lots and lots of twists.
All right, what did you not like about the movie?
I didn't like Ben Kingsley's role very much.
Okay, we're not going to spoil that, but...
I'm just going to say, that's all I'm going to say with that.
All right. And from a scale from 1 to 10, what would you give Iron Man 3?
I would give it an 8.
Continuing on with our Iron Man 3 review, it was such a big movie that a lot of members of Secret City had a chance to watch that movie, and I had a chance to ask them what they thought about that movie. First up, here's Will Acker. I'm here with Will Acker. What did you think of Iron Man?
I really liked it. I thought it was definitely not as good as 1, but definitely as good or better than 2. A lot of things I liked. I did like Robert Downey Jr. playing kind of the Tony Stark, seeing what Tony Stark would do instead of kind of having the suit take all the kind of the roles. He was a little more, like showing Tony Stark as this genius engineer and kind of be able to do all these things. Ben Kingsley as Mandarin was fantastic. He had a great role. He did a really good job.
What did you not like about the
The Extremist was kind of a little confusing. A lot of the reasons why the main character was using this to fight Iron Man, it didn't really make sense. If he needed Tony to help him with the Extremist project, or he wanted Tony out of the business to take over the company, that was kind of confusing. It didn't quite make sense.
And the PTSD.
Yeah, and then Tony kind of had this whole, after New York, after the whole Avengers thing, he had this kind of post-traumatic stress disorder kind of issue going on where he was having anxiety attacks and he was not really like himself, and that kind of just weakened the character. We had saw a lot of that in Iron Man 2 with the whole palladium, getting poisoned by palladium, and we saw that, and I kind of wanted to see something different from that, and that was my my only problems with the movie.
Okay, from a scale from 1 to 10?
Definitely a solid 7.
Okay, great. And lastly, we asked our fellow member Sophia Bien what she thought of Iron Man 3, and she gave a little bit of a different answer. Okay, I'm here with Sophia Bien. What did you think of Iron Man 3?
I thought it was okay. I thought it was very entertaining. And I thought that number 1 was the best, number 3 was second best, and the second one was the worst.
Okay, what did you like about the movie?
What I liked about the movie was how they expanded Tony Stark's character, and all the things that he was struggling with, is very realistic for what he had been through with the Avengers, and I like how they kind of made it bookend with the third film. Mm-hmm. So, if they were to stop making Iron Man films, it's fine. It's a perfect finished trilogy, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what did you not like about it?
I didn't care for the villain. I felt like the villain was a tad unrealistic, personally, in terms of how I personally would have developed a character. Uh-huh. And it was so action-packed that it didn't really leave enough room for, I guess, more growth. Everything was, fast-paced.
So from a scale from 1 to 10?
1 to 10, I'd give it a solid 8 in terms of entertainment value.
Okay, great.